God created us to solve problems. There's nothing wrong with you if you want to fix your marriage. Look how we're programmed. Us as men, we work hard, we want to be better. If you're watching this video, obviously you want to be a better husband. That's just how we're wired, how we're programmed to be leaders, to be warriors. That's just how God has created us. But recently, for me, and the revelation I want to share with you is that my problem-solving abilities kind of got in the way a little bit. And what I mean by that is I'm the guy that when my marriage is struggling, when my relationship with my kids sucks, when I feel overburdened at work and my body is failing because I'm not taking care of myself and eating right, I dive full in. I read the books, I listen to the podcasts, I talk to the people that can all help me solve my problems. But that usually works 95% of the time. But this week, it failed me. And I was lost and had no idea what to do. So, with my wife working extra hours, more than usual, just to get us ready kind of for vacation. We're heading to Myrtle Beach, actually, tomorrow. But the thing of it is that her working more, me working more, her homeschooling the kids, and also wrestling with the kids to actually pay attention and behave while she's schooling them can be quite the challenge. And we weren't communicating right. All the extra stress was added in for my job and her job and the kids. You guys know how it is. The stuff hits the fan and sometimes you hit a rough patch in your marriage. And that's exactly what happened to me. So what did I do? Well, at first I tried to pull out all the stops. I tried to do everything I've learned from podcasts and talking to mentors and the 7 Love Languages books. I tried to speak my wife's love language because I felt that something was off. I knew something was wrong with her. And many of you men, you know when something's off with your spouse. You can just feel it, the way she's acting. You can tell when she's sad and not happy. You can tell when something is not going according to the way it usually does. You can tell that. And that's what I could feel with my wife. So I tried to pull out of the stops. I bought the fancy flowers to serve her by buying her a nicer gift, one of her love languages. I tried to tell her nice things with physical touch as well. And none of this stuff was working. I didn't know what was going on. And I remember there was a breaking point one day when she was heading to work where I was just in the basement talking to her and just trying to figure out what was going on and how I could make her happy and cheer her up and serve her. And I really just didn't get an answer. And she left for work and I just sat there and just put my hands in my face and was just like, what do I do? And at that point I realized is that this whole time, this whole process, I've been trying to solve all these problems on my own. I've been trying to do it on my own by everything I've done, and I was like, it's going to work, and I just kept trying to do the same old process. And I realized there's some things in life that you just got to let God handle. So I sat there with my hands in my face and just began to pray and said, God, you see what I'm dealing with. You see the burden that I'm facing. I just give it to you. And I began to pray for my wife and ask God just to do a work in her life because I completely didn't understand what she was going through. I had no idea. The communication wasn't there. So I had to give it to God. And that's what I learned is that no matter what you're facing in life, I don't know if it's your marriage specifically. I'm assuming that's why you clicked the video. But many circumstances in life, especially the way God has made us as men, we try to solve problems on our own. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want to give you a reminder that sometimes you can't do this on your own. You have to give it to God. You have to let Him handle these issues and put your trust in Him. It could be you dealing with a death in the family or your wife cheating on you. I mean, you name it. Sometimes you just have to put it in the hands of God. There's things in your life that you are not going to be able to do on your own with your problem-solving skills or with your own wisdom. So I hope this video helped you out. And if you want to hear kind of the full podcast that I did on this over at truefamilymem.com/episode 79, I kind of go a little more in depth on my story and that experience with my wife and kind of the rough patch in our marriage. The link will be in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate you just giving it a like. Let me know in the comments if you've had challenges like this. And be sure to subscribe to get updates when I put a new video out. I'm trying to put a new one out every week, doing a vlog and things like this, little tips, and kind of taking nuggets away from my podcast and just giving them to you guys. So thanks a lot for watching, and have a great week.